In this video, we will be showing how to add the sleeves, sleeve placket, and cuffs on a men's shirt. We are starting with the file which we completed in part 2. First of all, let's add the sleeves to the garment. We ensure that the sleeves are arranged in the arm cluster and that Use in 3D is enabled. We'll stitch the sleeves in the 3D window. If you're not comfortable stitching the sleeves when the bodice is dressed, remember that you can stitch in prepare mode. We then dress the garment to simulate the sleeves. Next, we need to add the sleeve placket to the sleeves. On the sleeve pattern, there should be a small slit for the opening of the sleeve placket. If your pattern does not include this, follow these steps. First, we add 2 corner points close to the marking of the opening. If the marking is just a notch, we would change it to a corner point. We want to ensure that the points are as close to one another as possible. Next, we marquee select the 3 points and change the curve type to sharp. This ensures the points handles are disabled. Next, we drag the middle point to meet the end of the placket opening marking. Great! Now we can stitch the sleeve placket to the internal line of the sleeve. We'll add a corner point here. It makes it easier when it comes to stitching the cuff. We stitch the bottom of the placket to the sleeve. We must ensure the placket patterns are arranged in the arms cluster and that Use in 3D is enabled. The 3D layer of the plackets should be higher than the sleeves. Then we dress the garment to view the results in 3D. And we save a snapshot. We call this one Sleeves. The sleeves and placket are complete. Next, we need to stitch the cuff. We will stitch the cuff in the 2D window. Since the cuff opening will be stitched to the placket opening, when doing a multi-stitch, we must ensure that the stitch begins from the placket, continues on the edge with a pleat, and finally the edge at the top. Notice how we skip the small edge here. This part is already stitched to the placket. We've completed the from part of the multi-stitch. Now for the to part. Note how the arrows are all facing down. After we have completed the stitching, we need to check the stitch length. As there is a pleat on one of the edges, we need to ensure the stitch measurements for the parts where there is no pleat match. Now we ensure the cuff patterns are arranged in the wrist cluster. We need to adjust the collision type to ensure the cuff can overlap on itself correctly. In this case, it is left over right. Now we can dress the garment to view the results. Finally, we add the smart buttons on the placket and cuff. If you want to know more about smart buttons, watch our lesson on smart trims. We save a snapshot. Since the construction of the garment is complete, we'll call this complete. To fully complete the garment, we'll add in the appropriate materials. We must apply the necessary double properties or attachments to the collar, neckband, cuff, and sleeve placket. Remember, you can adjust the grid size for small patterns and add force multiplier to edges that require more reinforcement. Once all that is done, we save a final snapshot and we have completed the men's shirt. For more information, visit support.browseware.com.